What's up, guys? Rob Kuhn here. And look, we've all been on a downswing. Perhaps you're on a $5,000, $10,000, $100,000, $8 million downswing. That is what Airball is currently on. As we've seen in the last article posted by Poker News, an $8 million downswing as of September. Perhaps he's gotten some back. But what's going on with this guy? Anyway, we're going to deep dive into a hand today where perhaps, this adds a little bit to it, as all these pots matter as they play very high stakes. Let's get in the action.
Cocktails, please.
I've posted a new poll. I want to find out who you guys are rooting for.
Also, by the way, kudos for Airball to have $8 million to lose. Investment banking must pay very well.
Is it Mariano, Airball, Andy, or someone else?
Anyone else?
Right now, Mariano's in the lead. When you go in to hit your nightly thumbs up, submit your vote.
Yeah, I don't think so.
300, right?
Two.
Oh, two? Wait, straddle?
Straddle.
Two of them. Okay. Yep.
No, is Andy allowed to take back?
Fuck.
I know.
What was that?
You made him bold.
It's fine, whatever. No one else. You open the option.
Looks like they're playing the stand-up game or the stupid game, the hustler calls it.
3,000. 31.
Nik Airball has pocket aces for the third time in less than 2 hours. Mariano has a nice hand, but he's in trouble here.
Just for reference, this is the Hustler 25-50-100 with 100 big blind ante game. There is a straddle in play. Mariano makes it 800 pre-flop. Nik Airball waking up with the black aces, 3 bets to 3,100. And Mariano just goes for the call with 9-10 suited. You could mix in some 4 bets here, but the pure play is just a call. You're very, very deep. You don't want to play a pot out of position with 9-10 suited. So just call, see a flop, and then go from there.
You're out of position, 10-9 suited against 2 black aces. Flop's top pair, and it's no good.
Okay, interesting start to this hand. Mariano checks, of course, and actually, I think that's the spot you actually get some leads, but whatever. Airball goes for the snap check back with aces. Now, of course, he could bet, but actually, aces do the most checking here. A hand like jacks, tens, pocket queens, etc. These are going to be pure bets. Aces don't need protection. They really don't like to get check raised on this board either. So, because Mariano can obviously have 9, 6s, 5s, 7, 8 suited, maybe even 5, 6 suited. So, yeah, Airball's check here is fine, but most of the time players bet. But it's not unreasonable.
Airball pot controls. See if Mariano starts going for value that isn't there.
He was saying that everyone's chipped them.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's like conspiracy theorist, I think.
23 hundo.
Does Nick want to raise or just call? Wow, just call.
With 6,500 in the middle, Mariano decides to bet a little less than 1/3, 2,300. Personally, I would like to see him size up. Nik Airball could easily have a hand like, let's say, ace-5 suited, ace-6 suited, maybe even 9-8 suited, but he might bet that on the flop. Maybe he can have 7s, he can have pocket 8s. We just want to get a value from a lot of hands. He's probably not putting Airball on aces, if I had to guess. And if Airball has a hand like ace-king, he's probably not checking back to just snap fold the turn. So I like to see a little bit of a bigger bet here. And as for Airball, he just goes for the snap call. I would also like to just see the raise here, but, he decides, let's just keep the pot small. I mean, technically, when you're playing the big blind is 200, it's getting to be a big pot, but let's carry on the river.
9 or 10 for Mariano. That's a jack. Check, bet, then what? Or will we see a blocker bet? Here comes the blocker. Or value bet, I guess.
And you can now tell him, 3,800.
You have to raise here.
With 11,000 in the middle, Mariano decides to bet 3,800. I would personally like to see him size up. Like I said, it's very unlikely that Nick Airball has a hand like aces. This is a spot that you really want to target those ace-5 suited, those ace-6 suited, maybe, you know, the ace highs that are just getting sticky. You know, those pocket sevens, pocket eights, you know, there's just a lot of hands that you can target. Betting smaller does allow him to perhaps get Airball to spaz out, but it's just very rare that he's going to raise here with like a pair or whatever. He's just going to call, you know, and I don't think he's going to call ace king either. So let's carry on and see what happens as this hand gets very out of line very quickly.
Do the right thing.
If you're Airball,
Don't give away the money.
you are incredibly under-repped. And with this sizing, Mariano's almost never going to have...
Raise 11
two pair.
large.
Doesn't Netflix, you never listen. Stubborn. He's what the pros say, compounding his mistakes. Compounded. Pre-flop to the river. Compound mistakes. So unreadable.
Is he really bluffing you? Uh-oh. This is going to get snapped up. I just said you cannot make these plays when you can't turn over a winner.
Raise.
Oh, it's a spicy game today. I don't know why.
Today's
Spicy game
spicy.
today.
41-8.
Gotta believe Nick Airball's calling here, the way he played these aces.
And before we see what Airball does, let's go ahead and just break down the thought process of each player. Airball, you know, after he checks back the flop, just calls the turn. Yeah, he has a mandatory raise on river. This isn't even close. Sizing's pretty good. Raises, you know, from 3,800 to 11,000. He could even make it bigger. And then Mariano, not thinking his 9 is good anymore, perhaps saying Airball may have hit like a hand like ace jack, or perhaps he does have a hand like pocket aces that he checked back for whatever reason, is saying, you know what, I'm going to turn my 9 blocker into a bluff, which is very rare, I mean, most of the time you see this, it's going to be a hand, a blocker like 6-7 suited, pocket sevens, pocket eights being the best. Actually, 9-8 suited would be the best here because then you block sets and straights. So 9-10 suited, a little bit on the frisky side here, a little bit of spice with this raise here.
That's a spicy meatball.
It is one of the hands that might fit in the category of raising. 9-8 suited definitely being the best, followed by the 7s and 8s and stuff like that. As for sizing, yeah, I mean, he should probably polarize and make it a little bit bigger, perhaps even an all-in size, to really just put Airball in the blender. Airball never has pocket jacks in this scenario. Airball basically always has one pair, ace jack being aces being the best, and then ace jack being the second best. So, yeah, now it's on Airball. What do you do? You're under-repped. You checked back. You know, I mean, what do you do? What do you do if you're Airball? I mean, I think like. Usually when people go for the block bet, in my experience, and then you raise, they actually turn their pairs into bluffs very often. This is a little bit more of an online thing personally, but Mariano's a very talented and very capable player. So personally, I'm just going to snap it off, and you got it. But hey, this is why I'm doing commentary and not on a Hustler Live. But I have been on this game, actually. Don't know how, I forget how I did, but... I wasn't on the Wednesday game.
Wow.
Anyway, let's carry on and see what Airball does.
Mariano knows he's up against a better one-pair hand. Doesn't mean you get to win. Airball's going to call. She's going to have some words for Mariano.
I guess I should have
DJF is full expecting a call here. Will he be right?
For Nick, you go back to Mariano's sizing on the river. Was it a 2-pair plus sizing? Less than half pot? Not sure about that. Is he stuck? Steaming? Yes.
Always just a little meta
They make
when
him
you're
wait
playing
20
a
minutes
guy.
at Fantastic Sam's? Yes. Put in the call. Get the chips.
Don't want to interrupt. When a guy's steaming, you know, bluffing him is obviously very suicidal.
I have a better suggestion. If 3 people click that button, it gives you actual electrical
Oh,
shock.
man. Is he going to fold?
Yeah, yeah.
You're really frustrated, huh?
Yeah.
Who would you shock on this table if you had it? What would be your number one shock type?
I know what I do.
I feel like it would be Nick.
Very courageous 3-bet. On a normal night,
That would be Nick, right?
I like it. I don't like it tonight. Running bad, losing a bunch.
Back and forth.
Sizing was too small on the river.
6, 7. I have aces. Yeah, I have aces.
I guess we're just, you know, once again, we're back in the mind of Airball. What is the man thinking? Anything? I don't know. I guess he's just thinking, what does he beat? And not giving Mariano credit for actually having a bluff here. This is not really how you should think about poker. You should really think about your range overall and what you know, how high you are up in your range. Once you check back flop and just call a turn and then raise river, like you're extremely high up in your range. In fact, you're as high up in your range as possible, unless you check back 78 suited on the flop or pocket nines, because you're going to bet jacks on the flop. It would be bad not to bet jacks on the flop. So call, like just call, dude. If you lose, you lose. But this is just poker 101. Like it really doesn't take. It's really not that complicated of a spot. I understand this is a very underbluffed spot, but you have to think about your range in poker, and he's not doing a great job of thinking about his actual range here. Anyway, let's carry on.
Sorry, guys. Give me one more second. I really don't know what I want to do.
The key variable is the sizing on the river.
Sus.
I don't think it's balanced.
I would agree with that as well. Most people aren't balancing these spots.
Oh, wow. Gets it through. Oh, no. The kid is back.
Mariano,
Oh, the doom zoom.
Incoming.
Thank you. That was hot.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And another prime example of Airball losing another big, you know, 5-figure pot. And yes, I haven't shown the super, super big ones, but look, you lose a bunch of 50, 100K pots, it can add up. You know, you're going to hit the 7-figure territory very soon, and then, you know, eventually, apparently, you're going to hit the the $8 million mark. So, prayers for Airball, because he might need them. Anyway, hopefully you guys like this video. Much love.
Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite.